with a difference, as we used to say. Every Tuesday comes with a difference. It comes with its own, startup, its own time, and so we used to target Tuesday with a difference. Thank you for being our guest this morning on Family and Values. If you're just joining us, this is Family and Values from Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. Yes, Family and Values is a show where we talk about everything that has to do about family, dating, relationship, your health as well. A good family is the beginning of a good society. You can't talk about a better society without having a better family. Today happens to be another day where we'll be having our conversation, having our guests to give us those insight into topics that you feel you understand. Sometimes you feel you know certain things, but by the time the conversation goes deep, then you realize you know nothing. That's why Family and Values is here. We are streaming across all our social media platforms. Please download the Galaxy mobile app so that you can watch us on the go. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm going to beg you, subscribe, Turn on your Facebook and S notification so that you know when Family and Value is here on the show. Okay, this morning, yesterday I said something that when I started the show, I was starting alone because my better half is under the weather. And I said I was going to drag her here. Don't worry, I'm still pitying her. I just want her to complete her treatment. So I'm going to be doing this all alone as Olori is still under the weather. But hopefully before the week runs out, she will be joining us. Mama Gen Z will be joining us. I've missed her on the show. The way I found fun of teasing her on the show, And a lot of you are like, what happens to Olori? Don't worry, she's under the weather and she'll join us pretty soon. But hey, yes, today promises to be another exciting, educative and informative. Yes, very, very, because we bring you the very best from Family and Values. Okay, so on my way to work this morning, I noticed within Ayobo axis there was a terrible ghastly motor accident. In fact, I saw it and I was wondering, did anybody come out alive? And in the course of investigation, I learned that the person went for Salah celebration and then got drunk and, ran into trucks, multiple trucks, Now, that brings me to the question, why would you be drinking and driving when you know you have drank and passed your limits? Why don't you get somebody to take you home? I'm not sure that car will remain the same because it was wrecked beyond repairs, And you know what the country is saying this period, So please be careful out there. The holidays are rounding up today. Yes, tomorrow schools are resuming. Parents will take a chill pill like, okay, fine. After the very long vacation. I call it a vacation because come on, a week and 2 days. That's too much, for most parents to handle. I can hear the happiness. Yes, school is resuming tomorrow. Yes, the schools are resuming, preparing to round up for the time. So get your kids ready. And please, there is still cholera outbreak there. Please, as your kids are returning back to school, get them ready to wash their hands. You can get them little hand sanitizers into their bags, so that they can, and please warn them not to buy. Kids are fond of buying on the road. They should be selective this period where they are buying stuff from, so that we don't have an outbreak. Emergency cases will not come upon us. Okay, yes, my guest is pretty seated in the studio, and we'll go on our mini feature. And when we return, she's gonna do justice to the topic. I'm kind of excited because today's topic is, don't worry, we are just calming it down. We are cooling it. No stress, no nothing, no worry. We are not breaking table. Let's go on our mini feature. We'll be right back. So from the intro, you would understand we are discussing ignoring partners and spouse. I salute you people. Those of you that are number one in ignoring, while growing up, I had this anger issue. So each time I don't want to express my anger, I just take a walk. And then you hear, you're disrespecting me. Why are you taking a walk? Now, I was doing that so that I don't vent my anger or say things that bring issues later. What's spoken out cannot be retrieved. So for me, I felt walking out or just leaving that premises was the best way to, give that answer. At the point they said it's disrespectful. I started learning that, okay, so I have to be there and then listen to all the words you're saying and try to be calm. There's no how. I will speak out. I will talk. I want to defend myself, you know. So people have different ways of approaching certain situations, different ways of, how do I call it, attending to situations, especially when there's heated arguments in a room between husband and wives, between relationships, even between siblings, you know. One person just have to find a way to calm down the situation. Now, some spouses and some partners, they are good at ignoring. In fact, you talk from now till tomorrow, they will just be quiet. They will not utter a word. The next thing, they will pick their car key and zoom off. And the lady is furious, she's angry, she's foaming, I'm talking to you, answer me, you know. So people will go like, pushing the partner, talk to me, and the man is just quiet, or the lady is just looking at you. That when you're done, you know, I'll just keep quiet. Now we have to discuss that issue because it has brought a lot of problems in marriages and a lot of controversies, you know. As the conversation goes on, we will get to understand more. There we have a beautiful, dynamic, oh my God, you know, she's not new to Family and Values. Anytime she comes on the show, she's always coming with this glam, you know, that just covers the place. When I look at her pictures, I'll be like, see beauty, God created. You know, they are the ones that God said, He rested, you know, God created. God took time to create this beautiful lady. We have Chidinma Frank-Adubah. Of course, you know, she's a marriage coach, a marriage counselor. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning,
For
Joy.
those of you that don't know, she's also a proprietress of a very good school, you know. So she's mommy of the kids. Kids love her. And maybe that's part of the reason why she's glowing, you know. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Joy. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
again.
thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
So how are you feeling? Schools are resuming tomorrow. So is there any anxiety? Are you feeling any like, okay, I'm going back
Not
to
really.
these kids?
No, not really anxious. We actually miss them. Actually miss those voices, the hugs up and down. I love you.
Parents are waiting to say go back.
We miss them, but somehow we have this. I don't want to use the word fear because of the breakout of the cholera.
Yeah.
So we're putting in strategies on how to ensure we manage it properly because it's a big deal.
Yeah.
If we're going to be in school with the kids, a whole lot has to be in place.
That's true.
So that's where we are right now. So you're a bit apprehensive about that.
And you know, parents are fond of, even when the child is complaining of something, just go to school, They don't want to take time to say, okay, stay, let's monitor.
That's it. It won't work this time around. No,
right?
It won't work. It won't work. Any little fever, anything, please take the child to the hospital. What we'll have is just a sick bay.
Yeah.
There's no medical doctor there. Yes, please. So
it's okay. So you've heard that from the owner of the school. Please, if you're the kind of parent that wants to send your children off to school simply because it's having fever, this time around it's not going to work for you because we are preventing the cholera outbreak. Okay, so today we are discussing ignoring spouse and partners. Oh my God. Is it this topic here? I was talking to somebody said, no, my husband would just remove his wedding ring, drop it on the table, carry his car key and take off. I was like, you said? He said, yes. Anytime we're having an argument, he will not talk. He will just remove his wedding band, drop it on the table, pick his car key. And then he might stay like into the night and then come back. I'm like, okay. And what would you do? I'm like, nothing. I'm also used to it. So now, what is this ignoring all about? Why do partners and spouses ignore one another in the same house? I love that deep Reddit.
The topic is a big one because this ignoring thing is a big deal. It's outgoing there. Some people may not even know it is this big, and it's highly damaging.
It is.
Then, on the other hand, it's also a powerful tool. Somehow, you know, it's a big deal to the person you are ignoring. But for the person ignoring, you do also know how that person, for mental health, it can be nice at times. The person also know their state. That's why they're behaving the way they are behaving. They are trying to ignore. They know what they're trying to protect as well. So it can be a powerful tool, but it's also damaging. It's highly damaging. And people are not aware of what the implications are at the end of the day. Hence the reason to know the pros, the cons, know them together. So know what works at every point in time. So that's what I see here. So the causes are numerous.
Okay.
The causes are numerous. Some people don't like, they can avoid conflict. Anything conflict, they will run away. Anything conflict, they will run away. Why are they running away? Because they don't even know how to resolve conflict. They don't know how to resolve. They were just taught to run away from conflict.
Away from conflict.
Do you understand? Some people are like that. Then some people get emotionally overwhelmed.
Okay.
They are stressed. They are getting depressed in some issues, and you want to talk about it over and over again. They tend to run away from it. They are protecting themselves in that manner. Do you understand? That's why some people do that. Then there are some people, effective communication skill is far from them.
So they don't even know how to communicate.
Communicate at all. Because if they start, they're not going to use the right word. If they start, they're not going to use the right word. Some people are going to navigate it to something else. They will leave what is the matter on ground and just go personally to the person they are dealing with. Some are underlying issues somewhere. Do you understand? Then another thing that happens is, I don't know, some people use it to exert control in relationship. They just want to show, yes, they want to exert control. They do it intentionally. This is the only way. Once there's an issue, they want to use that issue to show you, I am the one in charge. I'm in control. You don't talk when I'm talking. Those ones don't want you to talk when they are talking, because they feel it's a way to get themselves be in charge, be in control. So for different reasons.
Okay, now you talked about the damages, you talked about, lack of effective control, and you talked about mental health. Now I want to take it from the aspect of mental health. For a lady who is ignoring her husband or partner for her own mental health, without the man realizing that this woman is rather doing me good, she's having mental issues, she doesn't want to talk. Like when we started, I told you that I was this kind of person till now. Once there's an argument, I walk out. And you might feel I'm disrespecting you, that why would you walk out on me when we are talking? But I'm doing that so that I don't use certain words on you. Now, how do I make my partner understand that? You see, when you're talking and I'm ignoring you, it's for my own mental health. It's for my own good, not for your own, you that you're ranting. It's for my own health. How do I make them understand? So that anytime they are talking and I'm quiet, it doesn't look like, oh, you don't want to talk, right? Some people will push you. You don't want to talk. Because how do you make them understand that? Guy, this thing you're saying is just for my own peace of mind. I don't want to answer you.
We preach and teach communication in marriage. I don't know how you'll be married to someone and the person is depressed, you don't know. And you also didn't know how to tell your spouse what you're going through. That means there's no vulnerability in that relationship. Yes, everyone is a package in that relationship. There's no vulnerability, because if you're vulnerable to me, I will know when you're dropping the ball, because I know you well. But if you come, in some families, some people are so well packaged, they are running it like they are running an office.
Wow.
Prepared, packaged. So I wouldn't even know you're going through this. And I'm coming to say, let's talk. Let's have this conversation. And you're not ready. You're ignoring me. I'm asking you questions. You feel to protect your mental health. Meanwhile, you're protecting your mental health, but you're adding to mine. Because I'm worried. Because there's no open communication.
So one is protecting, one is adding.
Yes.
Wow.
Vulnerability is important, because when you're vulnerable before me, if anything goes wrong, I will know. And if we have a good communication, you should be free to tell me when there is something off. And I will also notice when there is something off. And when trust is also a problem. I don't even know if you're acting or there is really a problem there, because there's a trust issue there. So that's what happens. Thank you.
The trust issue. Okay, I don't even want to go into the trust issue, because sometimes that alone can bring a lot. Now let's go back to the damages that ignoring your spouse causes in the home. Especially, how does it affect the children? How does it affect running the home generally? Now let's assume the husband is the one, giving the ignoring attitude, and then he wakes up, he doesn't bother to find out what anybody is going to eat, and then he takes off, and everybody is just, that period, everybody is running like this parallel lines, everybody is trying to, don't talk to me, So how has that damage affected the kids?
I'm happy you're not making it just about the couple. You're bringing the kids in. Does this couple I spoke to, what I asked the man was, he is good, 100% good at ignoring his wife.
Wow.
So all she does is to chase after him. Because he ignores. All she does practically is to chase after him. And I asked him something. You have daughters. This is what they are saying. The only thing they know is that a woman has to keep chasing the husband who is ignoring her, which is wrong. Also, some children, when they grow up, they're going to see it's a toxic behavior. This is what they are going to see. This is what they saw through all their lives. Now they put on the guts. That's why you're having young girls get into marriage well prepared. Any little thing is a trigger. Is the next thing divorce, the next thing separation. So the kind of tolerance and patience has gone away.
Has gone away.
Because all these things happened where the man, all he does is to use it to exert power, which is very wrong. So it brings, in fact, it puts the children a whole lot down. It brings a lot of pressure on the children.
On the children.
Yes, please. It brings a whole lot of pressure because they know there is drama in the home. You might think, I'm not talking, I'm ignoring, so I'm not talking. They're not hearing, but they're seeing. They can feel what is going on. They can also feel the pressure their mom is going through, so as to make sure she's in your good books, which is not right.
Okay, now still talking about the kids. I've witnessed a situation where there was this fuse in the family, and the kids became a communication barrier to both of them. This one will say, oh, you're going to tell your father. This one will say, oh, you're going to tell your mother. Now, I got to a point, even when they wanted to come back, they couldn't, that bridge was no longer there. The kids were now like anytime there's an issue, it's the kids that settle them. And the kids you're talking about are not up to 18. You know, someone say, mommy, what did daddy do to you now? Daddy, what did mommy do to you now? Okay, is it because of this? Sorry. Now, how do we break that gap? How do we bridge that gap whereby kids don't become the avenue for reconciliation, especially when you're having an ignoring partner? Because both cases, you see that, go and talk to your father. Tell your father you need this. Tell your mother you need this. And, you know, they are drifting apart gradually in this process. How do we save the kids' mental health here? Because I feel like children are already becoming adults in this kind of situation.
They are, actually, because what happens here is you are putting the kids in between, which is not how it's supposed to be. When couples come up, a man and a woman agree to get married and have kids, they should sit down and communicate. They should sit down and talk. And they should realize by themselves to say, what is it that works for us? What is it that does not work? They need to agree that in every situation, we must discuss it. We must talk. Couples should come together to say, ignoring does not work for us. If you must ignore for a reason, just let me know why you don't want this discussed now. A topic can come up you don't want to discuss. It's fine at that moment. But please, can you tell your spouse, please, can we discuss this topic later? Don't say, I won't talk. I won't budge. I won't do like someone is talking to me. It's terribly wrong. I won't behave in any way like there's someone beside me. It's terribly wrong. When you bring see, your children cannot be your confidant. They are never your confidant.
Your can never be your
they can never be your confidant. They can never be your lawyers. It is wrong. The person I confide in is my daughter. You're ruining your child.
Please tell them, tell them.
You are ruining your child. Do not confide in your children. Confide in your spouse. Don't confide in your children. Don't start telling your children your father did, your mother did. Don't turn them against your spouse. Don't make these children have, in fact, have a situation, have an avenue to always show these children that marriage is good. Love is beautiful. Family is everything. We can't be saying it and not practicing it. We can't be saying it. I hear everybody say, family is everything. Family consists of your spouse. And this your spouse is not everything to you. Because if he or she is everything to you, you can't be ignoring them at the slightest of issues. You can't. If they're everything to you, you want to get it right with them. The fact is there's an issue. Can we discuss it and on to the next? Having it at the back of your mind that whatever happens, after discussing it, we move to the next. is just a very great solution to this thing. Having it in mind that if we are going to have this disagreement, we're having it to agree on something important to us, to the family we're building. You're not having this conversation because you want to win in this conversation. You're not a winner in the conversation.
You're not a winner.
No one is a winner there.
Winner.
You're getting to somewhere. So ignoring your spouse and thinking you're using your children or whoever that is in between. Some people actually send. I've had to deal with a couple who relate by sending WhatsApp messages.
To that.
Yes, they send each other. Yes, because they don't want to hear each other's voices. And you know, one thing I know about marriage, about love is, do you know when you're having issues with your spouse, that voice alone can bring you in. Yes. So why will you want to do this? You can be angry at someone, and the moment the person calls to say, "Hello, honey, I'm sorry," you melt. But now you don't want it. You want to be typing because you just want to be off there. What was your plan in the first place? What was your goal before coming into the relationship in the first place? Because your goal will direct you.
Your goal will direct you.
Yes. If you don't have a goal at all, that is if your goal is to have kids, after the kids are here, that's when you're going to go off. If your goal is because you expect that your spouse is going to be the only, in fact, the source of happiness you have in this world is this person, that's also another problem.
It's also another problem.
It's another problem. Because any day they go off.
That means your happiness is off. It's all right. Let's hold you on that. Any day they go off, your happiness is off. Okay, let's go on our word of marvel and listen to what the people have to say concerning this topic. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Well, firstly, I'll try to find out what the problem is. If it's from me or from him. Well, if he gives me a positive answer, then we'll actually talk about it.
I'll try my best to find out the reason why she's ignoring me. When I see there's no outcome towards it, I'll leave her to come back to her senses and understand. That's all. I won't actually stress myself much.
Ignore her back, right? Simple. You're paying back now. What does you expect? She ignores you, she has her reasons, and so you should have a reason to ignore her back too, right? So it's a normal thing, right?
In this case, first of all, you have to know the reason why your partner ignores you. There are so many reasons why partners ignore each other. Is it a partner in a relationship or a partner in your marriage, right? So if it is in a relationship and your partner ignores you for maybe, I don't know, maybe you have an issue, a quarrel or something, a misunderstanding, and the partner ignores you, I will advise that you sit down and talk. Communication, first of all, is key. If it is something you know that you can work on, then fine. If it is something you cannot work on, then you let the partner know, and then maybe you move forward to something better, or I don't know, I think that should be okay, right? Then if it's in a marriage, of course we know that marriages are meant to be worked on, right? If you have an issue with your couple, your husband or your spouse, whatever the case may be, and then it is something that can be resolved. Of course, you know, there are some issues in marriage that cannot be resolved, like issues of domestic violence. They cannot be resolved. But if it is something that can be resolved, of course, I would advise that you sit down and talk. Communication, most especially, is key in every relationship, whether as friends, as spouses, maybe, or whatever the case is. Communication is key. So when you sit down and talk with the person, I would advise that will help.
Come back if you're just joining us. We have been having the conversation ignoring your partner or your spouse, on family and values, and this is Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. You've missed the first part of the conversation because our guest has really given us an insight into today's topic. At least there's an understanding and opening to where a lot of people never thought of it. That's what family and value is all about. Once you think it's common, you now discover that no, it's beyond just common. There is a whole lot around it, So we've been having that conversation, and our guest is pretty much here in the studio. Okay, before we went on that break, we were talking, and when you listen to the Vox Pop, it still boils down to what you were talking about: communication.
Yes, please.
Effective communication. Now, there was a video that went viral online about a celebrity that got married, and she stayed in the marriage. After a while, the only thing that took her out of her marriage was the fact that her partner kept malice with her for 3 months. And she said, I can't even do a day without talking to my partner. Now, so that means the man deliberately was good at ignoring for 3 months. And she said one day she just woke up and said, no. This is, I can't take it again. And then she packed her bags and left. And she said the partner never called her to say, okay, oh, sorry, oh, come back. Now, for me, I saw that, no, that was the height of it. For 3 months. And then she still said even when she was pregnant, she would leave the house because she doesn't want issue. The man would not call to say, how are you? How is the pregnancy? How are you doing with the baby? So I see it has been too extreme. 3 months ignoring your partner in the same house. Like, she literally couldn't. She said she packed her bags and said, no, I'm going back to my father's house. Now, let's talk about the strategies and ways to deal with this. For her, but probably leaving the house completely was her own best way. Her strategy of saying, okay, I'm done with it. Like, for 3 months, malice, no. So, but what other better ways and strategies can one have to deal with ignoring partners and spouses?
From the beginning, if you and your spouse cannot express your feelings and concerns openly, freely, that's where the challenge starts.
Okay.
Openly and freely, you must express your feelings.
Openly and freely.
Yes, and in this expression of feelings, you must be an active listener as well. It's easy to condemn someone else. Some people can be talking, and when they stop talking, they get to the extreme of it. You also have to be an active listener. You have to listen to your spouse actively, not just listen. You listen. Then you express feelings. I don't think there's anything wrong in vulnerability. I don't know who told the world that vulnerability is no longer good. People don't respect you. See, your spouse will respect you if you're vulnerable before them from the beginning.
And you think see finish will not come into play?
That's the problem. This see finish you're avoiding, for how long will you hold it back? This is marriage. It's a lifetime journey as long as we are concerned. In fact, the only person that will do this see me finish for you should be your spouse.
Should be your spouse.
Yes.
I once said it.
I hear this see me finish. I don't want him to see me finish. For how long are you going to package? So if your spouse is not going to do that see me finish, who will see you finish? The vulnerability should be there, both from the man and the woman. And when you're listening, you have to be empathetic. Empathetic means put yourself in the other person's shoes. As you're listening, make up your mind that I am listening based on if I'm the one feeling this way. Listen. And when you're empathetic, you know what he helps you do. You tend to feel there are some things that will happen to you, it doesn't mean anything, but you know to the next person, to your spouse, it means something. So you try to respect it.
Very true.
Also communicate more, regular check-ins. Just regularly, how are you? I'm at work. How are you? Okay, I'm on the road. I'm here. There are people that go out in the morning, they don't get to talk till they come in at night.
I know, of course, that one I've witnessed it a whole lot. In fact, you won't even know if he has gotten to the office or not, and then by the time you call, you say, there's any problem?
Yes. They don't get to say anything. If he has lots of meetings and all that, at times, the technology has made it easy. Throw out some messages, some WhatsApp messages, some SMS, some voice notes. If you know, oh, he's always in different meetings, you don't know the time he will be out of meeting, send in those things. Hi, I'm trying to check up on you. How are you? How is the meeting going? Love you.
And you don't think somebody will not say you're monitoring spirits?
You're not monitoring. I didn't say you should be asking, where are you?
Because some people will say, why are you checking up? Yes, I'm fine. Why are you checking in on me?
No. And nobody will do that if you send it as an SMS. Nobody will do that if you send it as a voicemail. Nobody will do that. They are not mad. The only thing is you keep sending the wrong things to them. You calling your spouse, where are you now? Hello, where are you?
Imagine, where are you?
Hello, where are you?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Oh yeah, I'm eating bole and pepper.
I'm telling you. How are you? Did you go? How was the road? Oh, was the road free? Oh, how was the road? How are you? Maybe last night you discussed about secretary not ill. Hope your secretary is around today. You don't need to call to make that, to ask. Hope your secretary is around today. Stay safe. Do this. You care. You show care. You show concern.
Okay.
Then another thing is there are underlying issues at times.
Now let's talk about those underlying issues. What sort of underlying issues will make a spouse ignore the wife for 3 months and just keep him malice?
People have different triggers. Understand your spouse's trigger.
Oh.
It's your responsibility. It's not his responsibility. Fine, he can tell you his trigger. But sincerely, if you marry someone, you also have work to do. When we say marriage is work, these are part of the work. Understanding that person is work. Understand what triggers them so that you avoid the triggers. What trigger you might not trigger me.
Very true.
As I am, if I tell you so many things don't trigger me, so many things that trigger people don't actually trigger me. Because at every point in time, I look for ways to manage, strategize. The other day I said, if God is a master strategist, why is it that you're finding it difficult to have a strategy in your own marriage?
In your own marriage, I remember when you said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a strategy. This is what we call strategy. Strategy is not drawing schemes to play against your husband.
Drawing schemes to play against your husband.
Strategies are finding the triggers, what works for him, what excites him. You know, we talk about love languages. Your love language might be different from mine. So we need to understand it. So those are strategies in place.
Okay, putting strategies in place and trying to understand. Now, after doing all of that, and then you have this adamant spouse that is still not giving you that attitude and still putting up that ignorance, what do you do if you're on the receiving side? Like, you've done all of this and the man is still giving you that ignoring attitude. What? Because at times it can be frustrating. You know, you're looking at it like, ah, God, what's this? Why? What should you do in that situation?
But do you know, this man is not someone, or woman is not someone you should control with remote. Someone that came to you has emotions, right? We all have emotions.
Sure.
We have our logical part of reason, we have our emotional part of reason, everyone has. Now this person, have you tried to connect? Probably you've not even connected this with this person emotionally. It's about you and what you want. And this person has gotten to the stage where they say, it's okay. Let me just ignore. There are still so many things to do. And as you do them, one will definitely work.
One will definitely work out of it.
There's nothing like none worked. If none worked, then there's an underlying issue. It's not about what is going on.
Okay. Now let's talk about a partner who has caught another partner cheating and you don't just want to talk about it, and for every time the partner says, can we have this conversation, and you're like, no, I'm not in the mood. Now because you have ulterior motive, maybe because you want to pay back. I've seen a situation like that, you know, when the woman was just saying, no, don't worry, I don't want to talk about it. For every time she gave this call until her plans were manifested, and the man was like, but there was a time I wanted to talk and you were saying no. Now, what are those things that could really cause a partner want to ignore another partner deliberately?
What are what?
What are those things that can cause another partner want to ignore the spouse deliberately? Because I just mentioned one, like cheating. You know, cheating could be a situation where you don't just want to talk about it at that period. And because you have something going on in your brain already, you want to calculate and see how, like you said, you want to scheme, you know, to hit back. Okay, this is why I don't want to talk about it.
Revenge is never a fruit of marriage. Revenge.
Please say it to them.
It's
today.
never
Revenge
a
is
fruit.
never a fruit of marriage.
Revenge is never. Revenge means you're trying to be that same thing which you're condemning. How? Your spouse cheats on you. You think the way to pay him back is to cheat on him. You are condemning him because he was cheating. Now you are going back. You are going into cheating. Does it make sense in any way?
No wonder somebody said a married woman leaves, divorces her husband, and then turns out to be a side chick to another person.
That's the problem.
Wow. Okay, okay.
That's the problem. It's
Okay.
never a fruit of marriage. Everyone has to work. All hands on deck.
All hands on deck. All hands on deck. Everybody has to work.
Your spouse cheated on you. It's a wrong thing to do. I don't think anyone will certify that. I don't think it's a good thing to do. I don't also say someone should divorce. Can you find out if he's a habitual cheater? Did he cheat you deliberately? Was there anything that led to it? At times it can be a mistake. I'm not trying to certify it, but at times it can be an error. Can it be corrected at times? Yes. What is the number one thing? The first thing is have a communication. So if it cannot be discussed, I don't know how else you want to manage it. It has to be discussed.
It has to be discussed. Okay,
Yes,
before
please.
we round up, now our mini feature, we're talking about some spouse who decide to go on vacation. They just want to leave that environment. Now, do you think leaving that environment, that scene, or let me put it this way, what are those therapeutic ways one can easily come out of, you know, an ignoring partner? Some will say, okay, let's go for vacation. Some will say, okay, you know what, I just want to be out of your space for a while.
Yeah.
Just give me 2 days off.
To take care of my
Take care
health.
of my health.
Yes.
Now, what aside that, what are other therapeutic ways that one can still do? Even if, like, now we are talking about even people that don't have money to go on vacation, but they still have to be in that same environment with you.
You get help at times. At times you get help. You can get help from a therapist. Your church can have a very good counselor. Some churches are doing well at resolving all these conflicts, resolving these things. Seek help. Family members, some family members can be trusted. Seek help. Where you know both of you cannot manage it, seek help so that you will come together. But that's if both of you want to be together. Because being together has to be a decision by the two. Because together cannot be one person, two persons. Both of you should also be ready to work on it. No one should be chasing the other. You who is cheated on should be ready to help your partner because there's a problem right there now, right now. You who cheated should be ready to make a change because you're hurting someone. So it's both ways.
Okay, now can we say that ignoring is as good as keeping malice? Because, you know, you're not talking to me, I'm not talking to you. We are just there. I prepare the food, I serve it, and you just know that this is your food. If someone will not eat your food, they'll take a walk. They'll not even move a pin for you. Throw out. If it's 2 weeks, they've decided to do that. I just give an instance of a celebrity that left her marriage simply because for 3 months her spouse did not talk to her. And I don't want to believe that he never answered her greetings, or there were never at times they had, maybe for particular issue or so. I don't know what the situation is, but she said for 3 months. So can we say that ignoring is another form of malice? And how do we control it so that it doesn't get too extreme, you know? At what point would you say, oh no, it's enough, you know, I need help here. This is getting beyond out of hand.
Ignoring brings the word malicious, which is negative.
Okay.
No, malice brings the word malicious, which is negative. Ignoring at times, I told you, can be a powerful tool. So both of them are not the same. Someone can be ignoring because they want to get themselves together, process things and come out. Everyone is not a fast processor.
Okay.
Most people who want to take time to process so that they don't speak wrongly at that time, so that they don't use the wrong words at that point in time. Some people do that because at that point in time they know they are going to go off. So to make sure that it's not personally on you, they're not going personally on you. They bring it back to whatever it is. They decide to ignore for some minutes, some seconds, for a day, and say, okay, please babe, I'm ready. We need to have this discussion. Yes, we need to have this conversation. Because they are ready, they have processed it, they want to talk with you. But someone keeping malice with you is trying to hurt you. It's from a malicious end. So both of them are quite different.
Okay, as we wrap up the show, please I want you to give your final words to our viewers and our partners out there, because you've really said a lot and I've processed a lot, just like you were saying, trying to learn how to strategize in certain ways, because a lot of us are good at ignoring, our spouses. So what's your final word out there and what do you have to say concerning this topic?
Before you ignore, before you use it as a tool in your marriage, please ask yourself, is it coming from the positive or the negative angle? Don't turn it to malice. Make sure it remains on ignoring for a reason. And when you come back, you will also explain why you had to ignore at that time. Because you ignored someone for a while. He should know why you did that. And whatever, the product of this, your being away for a while, the product it brought in. Thank you.
Okay, yes, our guests have said it, for those of you that love to ignore, God will help you people. Don't ignore your spouse to the extent that it will now become family meeting. Everybody will start gathering on your behalf, She has said a whole lot. Thank you very much for being our guest this morning. We have here from Vigil Industries, we have Vigil Coffee and Vigil Water to calm you down, to just give you that chill feel.
Thank you.
Thank you for being a part of Family Value this morning. Thank you for always answering us when we call you. We really, really appreciate.
Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Okay, so today, you've heard it. Ignoring is not always important. What is important is effective communication. Effective communication. Communicate constantly. Talk to your partner. That is what our guest is saying. Whatever it is. For some people, like she has said, it will be effective too to them. Maybe they are trying to just avoid that toxic environment. After a day or two, please talk. Don't let it extend. What are you keeping 2 months, 1 it's too much now. That become malicious, Okay, tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll be having our barrister in the house to discuss about something very, very important. A topic that, we've been trying to really talk about. We are talking about polygamy and its consequences. Let's know what you have to say about this. Send in your questions. It's a topic that a lot of people have been asking. Are there consequences in Nigeria? Well, tomorrow we'll get to know all of that as the show goes on. Okay, my name still remains Joy Abu. Thank you for being a part of Family and Value this morning. We love you, love you, love you, love you. And we are sending a shout out to Olori Mama Gen Z. Get well soon. We are missing you on the set. I'm missing you here. Hey, get well and come join us here so that we'll have this conversation. Have a great, great Tuesday ahead. Stay blessed.